Today we're sewing the Bertie wallet, a compact project that's surprisingly versatile. It's perfect for travel, errands, or any day you'd like to carry a minimum of items. Bertie is designed as an everyday wallet, but with plenty of hardware styling options to make it special. The pattern includes an interior slip pocket and card pockets. Have fun wearing this bag on your belt, using it as a clip-on accessory, or showing it off as a petite evening bag. I'm Kate, one of the team members here at Sallie Tomato, and I'm delighted that you're here. On our channel, we strive to make sewing approachable, useful, and enjoyable. If you love stylish and practical projects, we hope you'll subscribe to our channel. We have a growing library of tutorials to keep you inspired and ready to create confidently. The Bertie wallet was originally created for our annual gifting advent box, filled with projects, collectibles, and surprises. The pattern was inspired by our larger Bella wallet. Bertie is the perfect little brother or sister to Bella. Its design combines compact size with modern function, making it sure to become a favorite accessory. This project includes thoughtful details such as an exterior zipper pocket for secure closure, an interior slip pocket for cash, receipts, or notes, multiple interior card pockets, an optional belt loop or accessory clip for added versatility. There's the optional wrist strap or chain strap, an additional optional hidden layer of RFID fabric for digital security. And if you're the kind of maker who likes everything to coordinate, the Bertie wallet fits in nearly every Sallie Tomato bag or becomes a clip-on accessory to any bag that features D-rings, O-rings, or rectangle rings. The finished size is 4.5 inches wide by 4.75 inches high and 3/4 inches deep. This pattern works best for non-woven fabrics such as cork or faux leathers because there are raw edges. Make this bag your very own by picking playful prints, fun colors, or subtle textures to fit your personal style. Before we begin, please make sure to purchase the pattern. Everything you need is listed on the back of the pattern cover. You can find the Bertie pattern linked below. However, many local quilt shops and fabric stores carry Sallie Tomato patterns and supplies. So we hope you'll consider supporting your favorite shop when gathering your supplies for this project. So if you've got your pattern ready and your materials selected, go ahead and cut out your pattern pieces following along with the cutting instructions in the pattern, and feel free to pause the video anytime. I'm guiding you through each step of the construction so you can sew at your own pace. I'll be sharing tips as we sew, so take your time, enjoy the process, and don't worry about getting everything perfect on the first try. You can do this. Let's sew a fun wallet together, one step at a time. The Bertie is a really fun little project. We have a whole list of optional hardware that you can add to your Bertie wallet. I have a zipper, and then all my pieces already cut out. Do pay attention to the cutting instructions for some of the pieces. Some of them are a mirror image of each other, so you would want to have the pattern piece when you're cutting it out wrong side up for one piece and right side up for the next piece so that the pieces are mirror image of each other. So once you have all your pieces cut out and labeled, you could certainly label them on the back or use piece labels available on our website, and of course use the pattern pieces that are included in the pattern. And then you'll also need the heavier stabilizer as well as fusible woven interfacing, and an option is to have RFID fabric, which I have right here. I'll be adding this to the wallet that I'm sewing with you. Then I'd like to take just a minute to show you all the different hardware options. For my Bertie wallet, I'll be using gunmetal hardware. There's a D-ring option, a swivel hook option. In a different color, I'll be showing a small sample with mini decorative strap connectors, and along with that is the 47-inch chain strap, which is a nice addition. A handmade label, again optional, but it can add a really fun detail. And then we have the option of adding either Chicago screws in the small size or small rivets. I'll show you where they can be positioned as we sew through our tutorial sample of the Bertie. And then of course another option for your zipper would be the tassel cap zipper pull. So that can add a really fun touch to your wallet, and it's beautifully functional being the zipper pull. We're going to shape our fabric pieces in preparation for sewing. On the wrong side of the main fabric piece A, this is the exterior, position the corner template A that's found in your pattern in each corner. You'll trace the outer edge of the template from edge to edge. And then cut along the marked line to round each corner. Repeat the step using corner template B to shape the main fabric piece B. This is the interior, as well as the interfacing piece J, and if you wish, the optional RFID fabric piece M. Also shape the two corners along one 3 1/4 inch edge, that's the shorter edge, of each stabilizer piece K, just as I've done here. And then we can move on to fusing the interfacing to the coordinating pieces. If you are adding the RFID fabric, center that on the wrong side of the interfacing piece J, and I've used just 2 small pieces of double-sided basting tape to hold the RFID fabric to the fusible side of the interfacing. And now center and fuse the interfacing piece J to the wrong side of the main fabric piece A exterior. Fold the ends of the zipper tape at an angle to the wrong side. Be sure you keep the zipper pull out of the way. Now with the zipper right side up and one main fabric piece F, that's the zipper extension, wrong side up, slide a short end of piece F about a 1/2 inch under the zipper end. Try to keep the extension as straight and as centered as possible with the zipper. It'll make assembly of the wallet easier in a later step. At the sewing machine, sew across the zipper end with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, securing it to piece F. If you feel that little bit of stitching isn't secure, you can always do a little more stitching about an 1/8 inch away, catching more of the zipper tape if you wish. And the Sallie Tomato zippers are perfect for this because you can sew through or stitch over the nylon coils very easily. And then you'll repeat the steps to attach and top stitch the remaining piece F to the opposite end of the zipper. And then you can open the zipper completely. On the right side, mark the center of the long edges of the main fabric piece A, this is your exterior. Also mark a vertical line, this time on the wrong side, centered across the interfacing. Our first design option is to install a handmade label centered on the right side of your piece A, and I've marked about 1 inch from the marked center of my wrong side to mark the placement. Be sure to visit our YouTube channel for a helpful video tutorial on installing a metal handmade label. With right sides up, place the open raw end of the zipper just below the top edge of your piece A at the center mark. You'll then fold each zipper tape under at a 90-degree angle in opposite directions. Now the edge of the zipper tape will be wrong side up and aligned with the top long raw edge of the piece A. Hold the zipper edges in place with sewing clips. When you're aligning the zipper end at that center mark, try to keep the zipper teeth close together, just below that top edge. This will allow the zipper to close more securely when the wallet is completed. Align both zipper tape edges along the raw edge of your piece A. Secure the edges well with sewing clips, and I recommend using lots of sewing clips. It just helps secure all the edges, and that enables you to check that the zipper ends are centered. I prefer to use sewing clips because we are using non-woven fabrics for the wallet, so we don't want to put permanent pinholes in. When I'm aligning the zipper tape around the curved corners, I prefer to not clip into the zipper tape because it can encourage the zipper tape edge to fray. So I simply ease that zipper tape edge around the corner. So your coil will stand up a little bit more at this point, but it will close beautifully in the end. I'm almost at the center mark for this half of the zipper. I'm going to go back and clip the remaining half. Ease the zipper tape around that corner, and it's okay if you have a sewing clip holding a little pleat or fold at that corner. It will smooth out when we're at the sewing machine. At the bottom edge, opposite where you started, flip the zipper and the pull end toward the middle of piece A. This will form a 45-degree fold in the zipper tape. Don't worry about the extension or extra length of your zipper extensions right now. It's better to have them too long. We will be trimming them a little shorter in a later step. At the sewing machine, sew the zipper in place, beginning about 5/8 of an inch from the top center mark, and sew with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Be careful to not stitch into that folded under zipper tape edge. I find using a zipper foot or a very narrow foot is really helpful in maintaining the seam allowance. Also, take your time as you're sewing the zipper on because it will give you a chance to smooth the edges of the zipper tape even with the edges of your exterior, as well as giving you time to nicely stitch along that curved corner. Move the zipper pull out of the way as you sew. End your stitching about 5/8 inch from the bottom center mark. Repeat these steps for the second half of the zipper, this time beginning at the bottom edge and sewing up to the top edge. And again, double check the alignment of both zipper halves. You can always adjust this second side to match up with the sewn side. Makes it a little bit easier. So if you need to readjust and add sewing clips again, go right ahead. And then this is optional, but I do find it very helpful. Cut small notches into the main fabric exterior at the corner seam allowances so that the layers remain flat with the zipper tape. It's very important that you don't snip into your zipper tape or seam stitches. You can fold the seam allowances to the wrong side at that seam. And then at the sewing machine, we're going to top stitch On the right side, with an 1/8 inch seam allowance, begin and end your top stitching even with the seam stitching. So you are not going to stitch across the zipper tape where it folds down towards the center. And you can finger press as you top stitch, or as I did around the corners, add a few sewing clips to help hold that seam allowance flat and towards the exterior fabric. Now your zipper is going to naturally want to curl up, so just work with it and allow your presser foot to stitch really tight. I'm going to show you a different sample for attaching the mini strap connectors. On the right side of your wallet exterior, install each mini strap connector hardware in from the top left and bottom right side seams and in from the top and bottom seams. When you install these small pieces of hardware, make sure that the D-ring of the hardware swings away from the seam and the top stitching. You can always visit our YouTube channel to watch a video tutorial for installing this specific hardware. If you're following the pattern instructions, the illustrations and the instructions show the opposite corners of the two connectors that I have attached here. Certainly make that adjustment if you wish, as long as the connectors are in opposite diagonal corners. So I've gone ahead and installed the mini strap connectors, checking that my hardware is going to be out of the way of any stitching. I've added a small piece of stabilizer just to help support the mini strap connector once it's attached. And you could use a small piece of sew-in foam as well. Okay, let's jump back to the sample I was sewing on just before. We're going to attach the belt loop, and you can certainly skip this first step if you've selected woven webbing or strapping as the piece eye or your belt loop. The belt loop I have is going to be the same fabric as my main fabric, so at the sewing machine, top stitch an 1/8 inch from both long edges of the main fabric piece eye. That's your belt loop. Now on the wrong side of piece I, mark a line in from one short end and fold the opposite short end onto itself, wrong sides together, and clip in place. Be sure to refer to your pattern instructions for the dimensions. You may wish to determine the front or the back of the wallet so that the zipper closes in the most convenient direction for you, and also that if you have metal handmade label, such as I do, that the belt loop is on the opposite half of your wallet. Now with right sides together, center the unfolded short end of piece I in from the zipper teeth at the short end of your main fabric piece A exterior, and this will be now the back of your wallet. The folded end of piece I will extend out and beyond away from the zipper edge. We won't worry about that at the moment. Depending on how much of the zipper tape is showing on your wallet, you may wish to adjust the position of your belt loop. If this marked line, which we're going to top stitch, is too close, it should be about a 1/2 inch from the fold seam edge of your wallet. So if you need to move that down just a little bit, go right ahead. You want to make sure you are stitching not too closely to the zipper tape. But now at the sewing machine, top stitch on your marked line, securing piece I near the top stitched edge of your exterior. You can use double-sided basting tape or craft glue to hold that loose short end in place on the wallet if you wish. Now fold piece I over, wrong sides together, aligning the short raw ends of the belt loop. You can really feel those two short raw edges will meet. Now back at the machine, top stitch 3/4 of an inch from that fold of the hem in that belt loop, and then an 1/8 inch from the side edges, and also an 1/8 inch from the actual hem fold of the belt loop, forming a box of stitching. And if you'd like, you can also install rivets within the top stitch box for extra reinforcement and style. Be sure to visit our YouTube channel for viewing a video tutorial on installing the rivet hardware. Here you can see I'm using webbing on this particular sample, so no top stitching. I'll only top stitch the stitching box around the end, and I've already added a swivel hook onto the webbing belt loop. This will allow the wallet to be converted into a clip-on accessory. On the right side, top stitch an 1/8 inch from the top edges of the main fabric pieces C, that's your slip pocket, then pieces D, those are the card pockets, D, and pieces E, card pockets E. To keep the top stitching process moving smoothly, try chain sewing. That is top stitching from one piece right to the next with only a fraction of an inch in between. It saves on time, trimming of threads, and also saves on thread. This next step is optional. If you like a sealed professional finish to the outer edges of the pockets, be sure to visit our blog for a step-by-step tutorial and a video on how to apply gum tragacan and edge coat paint with a roller pen to give a beautiful finish to your pocket edges. Now we're ready to attach the card pockets. With right sides up, position the bottom edge of each main fabric piece D, that's card pocket D, in from the bottom straight edge of the main fabric piece C, that's the slip pocket. Keep the short shaped pocket ends even with the piece C short edges. Top stitch an 1/8 inch from the short bottom edge of card pocket D. With right sides up, position one main fabric piece E, that's card pocket E, over each attached card pocket D. Nesting into the indent of pocket D and aligning the side edges. Top stitch an 1/8 inch from the inner and bottom edges. You don't need to top stitch along the outer edges. We'll be catching those in the next step. So keeping right sides up, center the slip pocket C with the attached card pockets above the bottom long edge of the main fabric piece B interior. You'll top stitch an 1/8 inch from the side edges and the bottom edge of piece C. That's the slip pocket with attached card pockets. Using washi tape to hold the pocket unit in place on the interior works beautifully. You can top stitch right through it, tear the tape away. On the wrong side of piece B, you're going to mark a very small indent and follow your pattern instructions for the exact size. You'll position the indents along the very long edges and keep them centered. You'll cut out the indent, and I like to transfer my center mark below the indent on each long edge for accurate alignment during the final assembly of the wallet. Now, if you have a lighter weight non-woven fabric, such as some corks or vinyls, I would use the smaller dimension that's listed in the pattern. But if you have a heavier non-woven, such as faux leather or micro suede that might be thicker, you could use the larger dimension. However, if you always begin with the small dimension, you can easily trim a little extra out later if you find the indent is a little too small. This tiny indent that we're creating is going to allow the zipper to open and close smoothly. Because this interior piece is going to be raw edge when the wallet is completed, just as the pocket edges, you may wish to edge paint the outer edge and indent of your interior to coordinate with your pockets if you used edge paint for those as well. We're now ready to position the stabilizer piece K on the wrong side of the interior, centered between the long edges and in from each short edge. Make sure there's an appropriate space between the straight short edges of the pieces K. And if you need to trim the outer stabilizer edges a little bit, that's fine, go right ahead. And then we're going to glue those in place. You can certainly use craft glue. I find a hot glue is very fast and very easy to use, or a double-sided tape that is permanent. The firmness of these stabilizer pieces adds extra support to your wallet, and the space between the two stabilizer pieces allows the extensions of the zipper to lay flat and allows the wallet to fold at the spine when it's assembled. We have another style detail to add, and this is preparing our D-ring connector. First, we're going to top stitch both long edges of the main fabric piece G. This will be the D-ring connector. Then thread the connector through a D-ring, and then fold the connector wrong sides together so the short ends are offset approximately 1/4 inch. And the reason to do this is to reduce the bulk right at the joint ends. Or if you prefer, you can certainly substitute a small swivel hook in place of the D-ring to create a clip-on accessory with your wallet. You can certainly use sewing clips to hold the ends in place. I prefer to do just a short bit of basting in between the long edges, just to hold those offset ends in place. Then we'll move on to assembling the wallet. Have your D-ring connector handy if you wish to add the D-ring connector, and then have your exterior wallet oriented on the table in front of you with the zipper end that does not have the pull. We're going to flip the wallet over so that we see the interfacing side of the exterior. Holding the zipper up out of the way, slide the raw ends of the D-ring connector under the zipper extension at that top edge. The hardware should extend above the gusset edge, that's this center area of the wallet exterior, and the zipper pull should be at the opposite end of the zipper. Use permanent double-sided tape or hot glue or craft glue to hold the connector in place. Now at the sewing machine, on the right side of the exterior wallet, top stitch between the zipper tape to form a gusset. You're aligning the stitching between the previous top stitching that goes along the outside of piece A. This is where you're going to secure the D-ring connector. And you'll repeat this step for the bottom edge of the gusset. Try to not catch the zipper tape in this gusset stitching. It's better to have a little tiny space between the stitches than to catch the zipper tape in this small stitched area. Another design detail would be optional, and that is to install a small Chicago screw or rivet to secure the D-ring connector. It gives a little reinforcement. It also adds a really nice look. Check that all the edges of piece A and the zipper tape are folded to the wrong side of the piece A, that's the exterior. Use glue, basting tape, or even sewing clips to hold any little areas that did not get secured in place. And then on the wrong side of the zipper extensions, apply a little bit of glue or permanent double-sided tape to the wrong side of piece A along that marked center line. This is where the zipper pull needs to be pulled closer to the outer edge of the wallet. And this is where having your zipper lined up in the center of the extensions is really helpful, because once you have your extensions lined up centered over that marked line, your zipper should also be aligned correctly as well. Then you can trim the short ends of the zipper extension so they meet. One tip, if you are using a lighter weight non-woven fabric, you may like to have the two layers on top of each other. It makes for a firmer gusset, so you don't have to trim those short ends so they meet. With wrong sides together, place 1/2 of the interior piece B over your main piece A, aligning the edges. The open pocket edge should face the D-ring connector, or if you don't add a D-ring connector, it would face the zipper end that has no zipper pull when it's open. Hold these layers together with basting tape or glue, and then secure the edges with sewing clips. Bring the zipper pull to the edge of piece A so it remains flat, but the pull doesn't get caught in the final seam. Be sure you check how the interior fits. The raw edges should cover the zipper seam stitching by about 1/8 inch. You can certainly go ahead and trim if you need to. You can also trim out the indents if they seem a little tight or short. If you find the zipper pull when it's close to the outer edge is too high for the zipper foot with starting, you might try starting in the opposite direction of how you would normally sew, and then reverse, that way allowing the foot more room before you begin in the traditional direction, because we have this bulk right here. So let's give that a try. Top stitch with an 1/8 inch seam allowance following the previous stitching on the exterior of piece A. Begin and end at the gusset stitching and stitch slowly, being careful that the zipper is not caught in the top stitching. Again, I prefer using a very narrow foot or zipper foot. It helps follow the previous stitching line. You can always lift the zipper tape up a little bit and peek underneath to see if you can see that interior fabric layer. You should be able to see it as you're sewing. That way you know it's going to be caught by the stitches. And stitch slowly. You're trying to follow the previous stitching line. We're going to repeat these steps for the remaining half of the interior and exterior. Now you'll notice that the interior is smaller than the exterior, and this helps create a smooth fit when the wallet is closed. So that's why we're doing just one half at a time. I prefer to start at the straight short end so that I know I'm going to cover the top stitching from the exterior and ensuring that the interior is going to be caught and sewn properly. As you're top stitching, move the belt loop, if you have a belt loop attached, out of the way. Once you have the second half top stitched, fold the wallet with the card pockets right sides together, gently bringing the zipper pull up from the wallet edge and around to close the wallet. If your wallet has a D-ring, this is the perfect spot to add a wrist strap. Thread the main fabric piece H, that's for the wrist strap, through the swivel hook. It may seem a little bulky at the moment, but it'll get better, trust me. Join the ends by placing the short ends right sides together, perpendicular to each other, overlapping the ends. And then sew a diagonal seam from corner to corner. And then the instructions say to trim the excess seam allowance to 1/4 inch wide and then press the seam open. I prefer to leave the excess fabric for the time being. Press the seam open and then top stitch on each side of the seam with an 1/8 inch seam allowance. I can then go back and trim that excess away. I find it a little easier for me to do the top stitching before I do the trimming. Now with wrong sides together, fold the strap in half along the length. Top stitch an 1/8 inch from each long side, moving the hardware out of the way as you sew. And if you prefer to just top stitch along the long raw edges, that is certainly a design choice that is up to you and your creativity. Fold the strap against the hardware and then top stitch the strap to itself about a 1/2 inch from the hardware. And then you can attach the swivel hook to the D-ring of the wallet. If you'd like, instead of top stitching, install a small Chicago screw or rivet about a 1/2 inch from the hardware through all the layers. Or you could do both. It's up to you. If you added the mini strap connectors, be sure to clip a chain strap and you have a beautiful little evening bag. Another option is to add a tassel to a tassel cap zipper pull. Be sure you visit our YouTube channel for a video tutorial on creating a tassel using the tassel cap hardware, or follow the instructions included in your pattern. I hope you enjoyed sewing the Bertie wallet. It's a fun yet practical project, and I can't wait to see how you make it your very own. If you have any questions or ideas for further tutorials, leave them in the comments. We always love hearing from you. Be sure to share your finished Bertie wallet on social media. Tag us and use the hashtags SallieTomato and Bertie wallet so we can celebrate your creativity and share your makes with our community. If this video inspired you, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. We're always adding fresh patterns, tutorials, and tips to help you create confidently. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to check out the rest of our pattern line for more stylish, useful projects. Have a great making day.